Who's ready for a pantry and freezer challenge? It's not that exciting. Very blessed to have the space. As a renter, you don't generally get a whole lot of kitchen storage. So my game plan is to get through February with the goal is 0 trips to the grocery store, but I am allowing myself $50 to spend on food and groceries this month, and I'm hoping to do that at the farmers market and the local farm store, because 2024 overall I am trying to eat more local, seasonal, and sustainable. So I don't want to give up those principles just because I'm suddenly facing unemployment and am therefore trying to cut drastically back on my groceries and food budget. I normally allow myself $500 a month, so cutting that down to $50 a month is a little bit drastic, but not impossible. And before I show you what's in here, I just want to preface this by saying I am a plant-based eater. So I eat mostly plants with a few small exceptions. I don't get super fussy when I go out to eat or at other people's houses if they're making me food. Like, I'm not gonna be like, I can't eat this. So this is just for me personally. At home, I keep it plant-based. And for me, that means I'm actually saving a lot of money because, you know the joke, rice and beans when things get tight. Well, those just happen to be 2 of my favorite foods. So it's fine with me. I did have to stock up a little bit, and all that I did to stock up, well, all that I really needed, I got a new 10-pound bag of flour and a 20-pound bag of rice, because I was low on those things, and I mean, like, critically low on the rice. So I just wanted to prepare my cabinets for this, and I do eat quite a bit of rice that will last me like probably 5 or 6 months, but it's also much cheaper the larger you buy rice, and same with flour. Same with most things, but not always. My mom taught me from a very young age to shop price per weight rather than the actual just sticker price of an item. You definitely can end up saving more money by buying maybe a larger quantity. But anyway, that's enough of that. In my pantry, it's pretty basic. There's no food up there other than these pretzels I'm trying to hide from myself. Not very good at that. But it's pretty basic. Rice, white rice. I have macaroni, steel cutouts, soba wheat noodles, soy curls, popcorn. Best snack when you make it on the stove, so good. I have a little bit of barley, brown rice, black beans. I forgot to stock up on, but that's okay. I'll survive because I have this many white beans. I think they're cannellini or something like that, but pinto is one of my favorites. I have a ton of pinto beans on hand because I love to make homemade refried beans. So those are always on deck. I do have a little bit of back stock of those as well. Same back in the corner, that's red lentils, brown lentils, black lentils, and then this mix of all 3 that my mom gave me. I have to use that, but I also have backup of red and brown lentils. I don't care who you are. Lentils are such a great, and dried beans, so good on the budget. But that's the like dry goods shelf. Now I just messed it all up. But anyway, and then below that is just the baking shelf. So my flour was low, but other than that, that's just whole wheat flour, sugar, baking soda, baking powder, things of that nature. That's really it. What are you doing down there? Are you playing? Now, I do have one cabinet for food. This is my other food cabinet. Up top, I have stocked up on soy milk. That is a non-negotiable every morning. We have a latte. It is my small joy in life. Non-negotiable, but that'll definitely last me probably solidly into March as well. So that's fine. This is just extra nutritional yeast and backup cacao powder. Down here is just a couple, like my strawberry jam, homemade, that I make myself every summer. Always have, always will. It's so nostalgic to me. But anyway, I've got about 4 of those left. It's just some TVP in the back there, some bulgur wheat. I have an extra liquid aminos in case I run out, an extra ketchup, an extra salad dressing, which I want to start making my own once that one's used up, but I'll never, that'll still be here at the end of this challenge. Some barbecue sauce, some breadcrumbs, pasta. I loaded up on a few more canned diced tomatoes because for me, really good bang for your buck nutrition meals are like a big hearty soup, stew, or curry. So these are just great to have on hand for soup, stews, and curries. And those are so cheap because those are made with beans, lentils, pastas, barley, root vegetables, the cheaper items. So I got these for soup and stew bases. I have 1 emergency can of black beans and 1 emergency can of chickpeas, which I'm realizing I did not restock my dried chickpeas for this challenge. I'll survive. But yeah, these are for I'm starving, I'm feeling super lazy, didn't soak beans last night, and certainly don't feel like cooking them for hours right now, so keeps us out of the ditch a little bit. But I have a can of jackfruit, some extra red curry paste, and a backup coconut cream. If anyone uses coconut milk or coconut cream for cooking, I buy the coconut cream, which I know is more expensive, but for recipes that call for coconut milk, I use this because coconut milk is just watered down coconut cream. So out of 1 can of coconut cream, I get 3. I just split it in 3, and I can actually get 3 meals that call for a can of coconut milk by using 1/3 of a can of coconut cream. So even though this can's more expensive, cost per use is a lot less. So instead of buying the coconut milk already watered down, I just use 1/3 of a can of coconut cream and make up the difference with water at home. When I need to open this to make a meal, I'll pull out 1/3, put it in my dish with some water, and then I'll separate the other 2/3 and I'll put them in small mason jars in the freezer, and I just pull one out when I'm ready to make the next meal. So it's just a little way to stretch coconut. Plus it's less waste. 1 can instead of making 3. I don't know. But yeah, some pasta sauce. I got all the noodle options. I love making some kind of Asian style stir fry. Those are also generally rather cheap, depending on what vegetables you use. But I've got udon, rice noodles, lo mein noodles. So pantry wise, pretty locked and loaded. That's really it for that. Now for the freezer, I only stocked up 2 things, frozen spinach and frozen broccoli. And I just got 2 bags of frozen spinach, they cost $1.15, I think, at Walmart, and 1 bag of frozen broccoli, equally as cheap. Frozen spinach is just something I like to keep on hand in the freezer to add greens to soups, stews, and curries. It's perfect to just dump in. This is a really old fridge, and if you are a renter and have at all dealt with old fridges that generally have really shitty crisper drawers, fresh produce is kind of a pain to keep on hand. So frozen spinach is just perfect. It's just extra nutrition to dump in. Very easy into a super stew to bulk it up and get your greens. So I think those are the only 2 things I bought because I'm not even going to pretend this is organized nicely, but I got a pretty good sized bag of blueberries week before last, and those I sprinkle a few, like a small handful every day on my morning oatmeal, oatmeal's also very cheap. But I also in here just have a small assortment of like frozen veggies and a couple of like vegan meat alternative things in here that I don't eat very often. They've been hanging around, so it'll be a good chance to eat those up as well. And what are you doing? Oh my goodness. Okay. And then there's some frozen bread items in there as well that need to get eaten up. But also, I'm gonna turn you a little bit, but because I make a lot of big soups and stews, the recipes are generally for 4 to 6 people, and I'm just one, but for me, that's probably like 3, maybe 4 Rachel-sized servings. So I just freeze the rest, and they're super handy when you need to run to work or not, or forgot to, or don't feel like cooking. I don't know. So I do have a good amount of backup already made meals as well that I can make my way through. So here's an example of, I just grabbed an old jar and froze a third of a can of coconut cream. So I still have a serving of coconut cream for a recipe that calls for coconut milk. So that's cool. The frozen ginger trick, we all know that, right? So that's pretty much it. Oh my God, you're so far away. Hello, come here. So what am I forgetting here? Anything? I know it doesn't seem like I have a lot of food to last me a month, but again, I'm just me. Ain't nobody eating dinner over here. Just kidding. But really. As far as fridge stuff, I guess I could touch on real quick. I didn't show you the fridge, but it's pretty empty. I cook from scratch pretty much 98% of the time, including bread. I have not bought bread from the grocery store in years. I've had a sourdough starter since 2018 that's still going strong. I always had that, but I did also restock a jar of yeast for the month so I can make yeast breads and other things. Yeah, locked and loaded on the flour for that. And oats, oh, are those gonna last me a month? Forgot to show you the oats. I keep this next to the stove because I make these almost every day. I use just under a half a cup of oats every day. So this actually might not last me the whole month. I did not think of oats, but it's okay. The goal here is just to try my best to stay out of the grocery store for the month. But again, I'm allowing myself the farmer's market and the farm store. So at the farm store, they also do have grocery items. And at farm stores like that, the grocery items are going to be probably more expensive than you can find them at the grocery store or Walmart or wherever. But in my endeavor to eat more locally, in that comes supporting more local business. I'm okay with paying a little bit more for oats and whatever I might run out of. If I do need more dry beans or something, I'm okay with paying a little bit more to the local store. At least that's money going to a local business owner rather than like a chain grocery store. So like I said, I am allowing myself $50 this month to use to grab more root vegetables at the farmers markets and little things that I might find I'm missing or run out of as the month goes. It's a challenge. I'm not trying to be like, no, you're not going in a grocery store. It's just a challenge. So we'll see what shakes out. Either way, I'm excited. I do need to get through some of this food, particularly the dried beans. Like, I have a lot of them. There's no reason I can't be eating them. They're a great source of fiber, protein, and nutrients. So, and it's wintertime in New England anyway, with eating more seasonal. Greens are not necessarily something that's going to be available right now, even though the farm store, they do sell their own local greens grown in greenhouses, so I'll snag some of those from there if needed. Same with the farmers market. But also I am trying to grow my own vegetables in my windowsill. Unfortunately, those are not producing yet, and they probably won't be big enough to start to consume anytime this month, but we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on that. So I don't know, it'll be fun. I know many of you have said you wanted to join me on this challenge as well, so I'm excited to kick this off and get started. February is 2 days away at this point, and if I don't have it, I don't need it because I don't feel like leaving the house. I don't even really know how I'm going to share this challenge going forward, but figure it out as we go. If you feel like sharing down in the comments, if you guys are gonna be challenging yourself in any way this month, like, are you limiting trips to the grocery store? Are you not limiting yourself? But I don't know. What do you got going on? I'm fishing for ideas a little bit, so certainly feel free to share in the comments if you feel like it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.